Hey, Mauricio.
Hey Scott, how you doing, man? How are you?
Man, it's been a surreal weekend, dude. Totally
Oh man,
fucking surreal.
me too, man. Me too, me too. What a fucking great thing that hyperliquid thing. Oh my
God
goodness,
bless
man.
them.
I know, I
Bless.
know. Interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very, very,
So
very
you know,
happy, man.
so you know what's fucking funny is
Yep.
that um at the start of the year, all our are we on the call? We got participants. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we are. Yep.
So at the start of the year, all our marketing bullshit was I'm going to turn 5 grand into $1 million and do it all right in front of you in open wallets and shit like that. And it sounded like just a complete pile of fucking shit. Like, and I thought it was a complete pile of fucking shit. It's like, oh well, I'll give it a crack and see how we go.
Hmm.
And
I told you from the get-go a while back,
dude,
man, you know
I
that.
put 5 grand in at the start of the year.
Yep.
We ran the dirty carry trade on hyperliquid, which is why I
Me
got
too.
the airdrop.
That's why I got so
Yeah.
much of a airdrop. Exactly right. And I just stopped doing the dirty carry a while back, and I'm still I got like that's why I saw at the beginning. I got like
Yep.
50K most like on one go, man. So I think that that will be a really really good time to actually turn that money again. I left 50% there. It's fucking crazy, man. Like unbelievable. That's the
So
biggest airdrop I ever received
so
ever, man.
at the
Ever.
start of the year I traded I hit cock inu at the start of the year, and I hit it with like 5 grand and turned it into like I pulled 100 out of it or something, and then I put
Yeah.
some in hyperliquid, and we were trading the carry trade for a while, and I was degenning until February,
Hmm.
and I kind of went nuts, like over trading, and like had to take a month off trading, and I hit Retardio, I hit that, I hit a couple of others,
Hmm.
and with the hyperliquid airdrop, I turned 5 grand into $840,000
Yep.
in a year. I
Far
reckon
out, man.
I've got a year, I've got a month. I'm gonna fucking hit that million, 5 grand to $1 million in a year. I'd never even heard of anyone doing that. And
Yeah,
it's
they
not
have.
actually for once, it's not fucking bullshit. Holy fuck.
I know it was going to be huge, man. But I didn't
Um,
expect this much. You know what I mean? Like obviously,
I
my
mean,
volume.
I mean,
Yeah,
check this out. You can see clearly, like I've got like 355 grand
yeah, man.
of hyperliquid.
And you know what? Liquidity is actually quite good. I have
Incredible.
people people selling that amount,
You can
and
see
they
it's
oh,
changing now.
yep,
The order book is starting to sell. It's starting to stabilize. But
yep,
clearly a bunch of big market makers, if Binance and Bybit are going to list it, they need 1 or 2% of supply. And
yep.
they can't just get it in an under the table deal like they always do with everyone else.
I know.
Like everyone else, if you want to list on Binance, you got to go to them cap in hand,
Hmm.
beg for them to list it and give them some money, and then give them a couple of percent of supply, and then pay their market makers, and then.
Hmm.
I know Jeff. He's not doing any of that. He's like, fuck you. You motherfuckers, I'm taking all your shit. You go into the market and you buy your bags the same as everyone else. Buy them at
Hmm.
retail and hit the bid, cunts.
Hmm. That's great, man. No, like honestly, this is the biggest airdrop I have received. So I think we can explore a little bit and tell people like because this has been going on for like more than a year, guys. It's nothing that is being like recently. This is like 1 year worth of trading or people that have been trading for a while in hyperliquid. This is the reward that they get. And some companies in crypto they work like that. They, you know what I mean, they require you to actually trade on their exchange because they want to create volume, they want to create all the stuff, and at the end of the day they will reward you at some point. And half of, like, I will say 70% of airdrops are pretty shitty, but this one, it was.
Another super weird thing
Yeah.
happened to me on Thursday. I've got
Yep.
reply guys on Twitter, and we're in a group chat with a bunch of other
Hmm.
professional traders, and we talk about professional trading stuff. And I thought they were like joke cracking, funny, like terminally online millennials, and they wanted to get on a Zoom call with me. I'm like, oh fuck, 8 o'clock at night. Yeah, okay, guys. Yeah, whatever. Like we'll get we'll get on a Zoom call. I jump I jump on a Zoom call and it's these are the guys. And playing golf with President Trump and like flying in their private jets and shit like that. And
Hmm.
um, it turns out that their 5 to 10% of daily volume on Binance, they were market makers in the MT Cox days. So there was the
Wow. Okay.
Saudi royal family that were early to crypto. And these guys have a Sharp ratio that's they're market makers, right? And they're looking for they've got commitments for another $1.3 billion worth of capital, and they just we just bullshitted about trend, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, we'll give you 10 million to start, and and then we'll up it, and you think it can take 100 million? You think you can get 100 million running like it's one of those things like
Hmm.
the guy with a $10,000 account like wants to look completely up the inside of your rectum.
Hmm.
um the guy with 100 million is like, yeah, 15-minute Zoom call, yeah, I like the guy. I'm wearing
Yep.
a singlet like this, they're dressed in their royal family dress.
Wow. Unbelievable.
About my history, I told them the truth. Like,
Oh man, everything is lining up finally, and I think you know, the amount of new projects and new things that are gonna happen in the next couple of months are going to be just crazy.
and
There's yeah, a bunch of new airdrops lining up. I don't know if people want to know more about that. It's just risky. It's very wiggly. It's a bunch of shit. Like it's not the same as straight. It's different game, guys. Like in
different
order,
game.
it's a
You got,
completely different
your
games,
cousin is
and
right into that, right?
yeah, that's why I know about this one, and we gotta thank the guy because my cousin loves
So
these
how
airdrops,
much
you
did
know.
how
So
much did you get from Hyperliquid, bro?
me, I got about 20,000 tokens, which is about 50, you know what I mean? Like I already sold half. I cashed out on 30K on one go, man, and I'm still holding the other rest. And man, I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like I'm really
Dude.
happy. But getting freaking 30K on a freaking airdrop like this. And you know what? I think the way it's heading, I think is gonna go really high.
And
So
I think it's going to go, and to show you how generous that was,
yeah.
let's take a look at my profit and loss. So I started out with $291 in there, 694, 2683, and then I put $10,000 in that I hit on a meme coin. You can
Mm,
see 23rd of November it went to 10 grand. And then got up to a peak of $83,000. So it wasn't very much, and then pulled it out after a bit of a drawdown to 56. And then it was just basically sitting at nothing until the airdrop. Like,
mhm.
I mean,
But by the way, guys, it's something. This is obviously something that you needed to trade on their exchange to create volume.
but
Uh,
a lot of our users did, because it's the only place that Americans can trade, really. Like
exactly.
we've been using
So
it on our calls. Ian used it. Ian had a great win. I'm so happy for Ian. Like, you should see that. You should see the place where he lives. Like it's like the Arkansas of. It's up in the Golden Triangle, right?
right.
It's like there's still laws there, but they're but it's like the Arkansas of Thailand.
I think that's a very good question that Marlon has. Just by the way, guys, I just want to ask how many of you got the actual airdrop? How many of you actually enjoy the airdrop of Hyperliquid? Just as a yeah, just curiosity. How many of you actually got the airdrop? Awesome. Awesome. Wow. Awesome. Yeah, we got Mike 100K. Beautiful, man. Yeah, we did. And by the way, we did extensive videos about the airdrop, like not airdrop, but how to use
I
hyperliquid,
mentioned
how
it
to
in
use it. Like
the emails
we,
every day about it. You got to click on the thing, like we did our best to make sure everyone got it. Yeah,
I
good
know,
memory.
because I knew that something was cooking. Like same thing of the other airdrop METH, the cook airdrop. I didn't get shit. Like obviously the airdrop actually that was pretty shitty. And one of those things that actually, you don't know what you're gonna get. But I think, and I've been sort of in contact with one of the guys on the team on Hyperliquid. It looks like they're going to do another one. So that's the reason why I think they're going to do another one. But these airdrops take a while, guys. This one has been cooking for almost a year and a half, more than that, I will say. So obviously, it's one of those things that it might never happen, but if it happens, it happens. You could get surprised on some of the good airdrops that are coming up, and it's a bunch of airdrops coming up in the new year. So yeah, I'll talk about a little bit if you want in terms of now the hyperliquid ecosystem now is on play, because now
Now,
with this.
look, there's going to be hyperliquid bait. I think. Okay, so here is a meta idea of how to think about trading, and I think this is really important to understand. So we have two games we can play. The first game is we can take on risk that other people don't want, which is what trend following is. It's what taking on carry trades like the dirty carry is. It's what Pendle is. Um, all of those things are taking on risk other people want. The
Mm,
other thing we can do is find price inefficiencies where things are priced badly. And what we're seeing, for example, today, there's a bunch of XRP meme coins, like but XRP meme coins are really poorly priced because I don't even know they fucking existed until yesterday, right? Um, that happens with every single new project.
mm.
Anytime you think,
Scott, sorry to bother you. Can we make sure, because I don't have access to the recordings, can you make sure that we're recording this one? I'm not
yeah,
sure
yeah,
because
we're
Ian is
recording.
not
Yeah,
here. All right,
we're
sweet, sweet,
recording.
sweet. Sorry to bother you. All right,
Okay,
come on.
so any new product in crypto almost by definition has edge. And so what I mean, especially things you should look for are like ETF style crypto things where there's like the FTX move contract, FTX shit perp. Those incredible edges in those, like right from the start. There's huge edges in some of these OX fun perps that are like Murad's coins. Because you can
Mm,
just sit with a spreadsheet and go, okay, I know how many coins Murad owns. I know what that's worth, and I know what the OX Fund perp, which is a basket of Murad's coins, is worth, and I know when it's undervalued or overvalued. Like you can just sit there
mhm,
with a spreadsheet every day. Like, and that is a lot different version of trading than the I like this coin, I think it's going to the moon type of trading. That's trading which is strong edge. And so
mhm,
hyperliquid being a brand new thing, that hyperliquid isn't an exchange. Hyperliquid is an extremely high performance custom L1 that happens to have a killer app on its blockchain.
mhm.
Hyperliquid will have a whole lot of other killer apps. It's likely that we may move our whole trading system to the hyperliquid blockchain.
Mhm.
It's possible. Um,
Definitely.
so I think certainly I started Chris, the South African dev, is integrating hyperliquid now, by the way. So like you're
Awesome.
actively working on it. And hyperliquid as a FinRev product gives us a couple of advantages. First of all, it's drastically lower fees. Secondly, it's growing like a weed, so we've got capacity. And
Mhm,
thirdly, you can run some of your money in that hyperliquid vault. So you can participate in their internal market making, which is almost completely orthogonal edge.
mhm.
So I think there's huge advantages in using hyperliquid. And you don't have to pay tax on it because it's all anonymous, right? And that's a small advantage.
Well, it depends how you send money to it. And I just like, that's for everybody to actually figure it out on their own. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, but yeah, it depends how you actually use that. So yeah, it's DeFi though. So yeah.
Yeah, and lower fees than Binance. Hyperliquid is technically it's a layer one. So
Mm-hmm.
they started off running on Cosmos blockchain, and then they Perry, I agree with you. Molvad is my preferred VPN. Very trustworthy. Works on my iPad. Um, Works on my iPhone. Works on my computer. Really, and it's pay as you go. You can pay with crypto, completely anonymous. None of that recurring credit card bullshit. Um, yeah, Molvad VPN is my preferred one. Um, Okay, so I think there's a lot of edge in the new coins that are going to be coming out on Hyperliquid, and the edge is coming in two places. One, mispricing, and two, simply beta to Hyperliquid. If you've got a coin that's running on the Hyperliquid blockchain, it's probably going to go up and down, like in the same way that Solana meme coins are Solana on steroids. You're probably
Mm-hmm.
going to see Hyperliquid coins being Hyperliquid on steroids. And I think Hyperliquid current current market cap is 3.1 billion. Okay, Sui is also a layer one without an application that anyone's ever seen, without a working blockchain explorer. It's 10 billion. Fucking ADA is 59 billion. You know, this thing has potential to be 20 to 100 billion dollars.
I think so. Easy, easy, especially
And
being a high reliable DeFi perpetual trading exchange. You know what I mean? And the volume
it's a
that is coming through that is unbelievable. Yeah.
it's a killer app. And
Mm.
so what the couple of points that I'd like to make is that startups, and this is effectively a startup or a bet on the founders. And I know
Mm.
I spoke to everyone that I knew in the HFT industry, and they all know each other, like the top people. And the phrase that I heard uh from Corey at Newfound Capital is who runs the Flirting with Models podcast, which, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the first non-professional ever to be invited on Flirting with Models podcast, and
Well, that's good, man.
it's
Yeah, you
crazy,
told me.
and we're talking maths. We're doing maths. It's
All
100%
right.
good. It's none of
Awesome.
this. It's none of this. Tell me jail stories bullshit.
Mm.
It's all like, okay, let's talk about maths. And anyway, he said that uh, he feels that Jeff Yan from Hyperliquid is what SBF was pretending to be. He thinks he's a world-class founder, a Jeff Bezos. He thinks he's a Jeff Bezos fucking Bill Gates level founder. Exactly that we had the like. He thinks he's a much better founder than CZ. Is what he.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if startups are a bet on founders, he showed incredible judgment at every step in the way. He incentivized liquidity first. He didn't try and launch a coin straight up. He didn't take VC money. He hasn't taken a single cent in outside capital. Corey begged him to give him capital. He wouldn't take it. So he wouldn't take on investors. He knew it was going to be a success. His reputation in the HFT world to even get at Hudson River Trading where he worked. Hudson River is like a top 5 HFT firm. To even get an interview there, you have to be like the kind of guy that was winning Chinese maths comps at age 12, right? And
Mm.
he was considered a 10x engineer at Hudson River, which means that in the top 1% of the top 1% of the top 1%, he was a top 1% guy in that crowd. Um, and this was confirmed to me by Agustin Lebron, who I know, who was the guy who wrote the Laws of Trading, but he was also head of Jane Street Trader Trading, and he trained SBF, and he said that no, it's just not like you can't compare Jeff Yan to SBF. Like Jeff Yan is like 10 levels up from him.
Mm.
So I think fuck, I didn't do anything with money. I'm going to let ride on the guy. I'm going to trust the guy.
Mm.
I'm going to trust the guy.
And which, by the way, this one could be definitely one of those long-term holds, and you can add more and add more. I see. I'm started seeing it that way. I was fairly surprised of the reaction after the airdrop, and we can go to a comparative of the biggest airdrops that had happened, and there
Jude was
was
the
no
one.
drop, man. No one was selling
Okay,
massively amount. Yeah.
so let's talk about why there was no drop.
Mm-hmm.
Usually what happens is you give away $1 billion to customers and they go, wow, thanks for the $3 billion. I'll go use someone else's software. I'll go get another $1 billion off someone else. And they immediately sell. So waste of fucking time for the company, for the people. You're not attracting loyal users. You're attracting hoes.
Mm.
So here, what Jeff did something very smart is they ran a lot of analysis on who was trying to intentionally game it and Sybil farm it and buy and sell with multiple wallets and buy and sell just to get points. All the people who are points farming, they got 98% penalty applied to their points. So they
Really?
got fucking nothing. And
Wow. Okay.
the only people who got money out of it were the people like you, me, Ian, our
Yep.
members who actually used the fucking thing.
Yep. Yep.
And so that was very smart. The second thing it is he has no VC money. So when you take VC money, they give it to you at a seed round of about $5 million market cap or $20 million market cap or 100. As soon as it hits the market, they've got 100x. Like it just doesn't make like they've got 100x. That's what they wanted. They wanted 100x return. They've got it. They've got liquidity and they just cash out immediately. And that's what happens to every fucking VC coin, like TR, blah, blah, blah. They might pump it a bit first. They might pay some influencers, but that's all. So Jeff's done none of that, paid no influencers, no VCs, no market makers. So which exchanges have listed hyperliquid right now? It was only Gate yesterday. Let's check
Let's have
today.
a look.
Do you want to bring it up, man?
Sure. Let's have a look. By the way,
Time here.
let's have a look because, as far as I'm aware, they're not listing anything yet. To be honest,
Yeah, and my honest opinion,
CoinW, who I have no idea about the exchange. To be honest, that's the only
never
sex
heard of that.
exchange. Never heard of that one.
Yeah, so
CoinW. So many new stuff. Well, I'll have to look into this one a little bit more. It looks very. It looks very. Nah, it looks
that
very.
don't look like a real exchange to me. That looks like 7 years my ass. That looks like a wash trading exchange for Russian money laundering to me, which is
Yeah, it looks very similar to Gate.io. Anyway, but yeah, I have never heard about Coin W, to be honest. So I'll look into it.
so my point is that as this has to be as this becomes a bigger coin, it has to be listed on Binance, Bybit, Kraken, OKX, has to be listed everywhere, right?
Definitely.
Anywhere that wants to list it, they need a bag of coin. They need supply. And so Jeff has made it so that, you guys don't have supply already. Well, you're going to have to fucking walk into the market and buy it. Like they have to go in and buy it like suckers, like everyone else. And you can see if you load up a 1 hour chart and then load an indicator called VWAP, and you'll see very clearly.
Yep.
Happening. Someone's got a VWAP order in, and every time it goes below VWAP, they just hit the bid on it.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very clear that okay. So if you're buying hype, what do you want to do? You want to buy it below VWAP or add VWAP. That's your goal. 1 hour VWAP. That's your goal. If you're beating 1 hour VWAP, you're ahead of the game. If you're paying over 1 hour VWAP, you're overpaying a little bit. That's
Hmm.
that's about it. That's about it.
Scott, can you explain what is VWAP? Someone, Kevin is
Well,
actually asking on.
volume weighted average price.
Hmm.
So um, there's always some dumb fuck overpaying and some smart fuck underpaying. And on average, it's the average price weighted by volume, because we can't say that Maurizio buying $100 worth of hype is the same as a whale buying $1 million worth of hype.
Hmm.
Like, we just can't say that.
Hmm.
So so yeah, so you weight it by volume, and generally, if I'm in the professional world, and if I before you guys did all the button pressing yourselves on apps, like when I started trading, you did everything on a phone. So my daily routine was picking up the phone and talking to my broker and giving him a bunch of orders. That's what you used to do every day, is call your broker in the morning. And I used to speak to my broker every single day. And at the end of the day, if your broker, you say, okay, I want you to get 50,000 shares of this today. And at the end of the day, he'd call you back and say, hey, we got you done we got your 50,000 done. VWAP for the day was this, and we beat it. So even though he used to charge me 0.5% in brokerage, he would say, yeah, but I saved you more than 0.5% by beating VWAP. And
Hmm.
that was how you knew if you had a good broker or not.
Right. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. Sorry for interrupting, but
No, no, no.
I
That's
think this
good.
is I think this is the most exciting ecosystem launch, and you can tell
Yeah.
it kind of lit a fire under the whole market a little bit. Um,
So
why don't you do your thing, and then I'll talk a little bit about the evidence we have for alt season.
yeah. So technically, what I was looking at is how the whole ecosystem of hyperliquid, right? Because it's kind of new in a way. So let me just go through on CoinGecko. You can actually just go get to this. Let me just hyperliquid ecosystem. That's one way of actually. Let me put it in the chat. So essentially, it's new.
What do we got?
Well, it's not new.
Per and H Fun, and Jeff. And
So this
those are the
one's
biggies, right?
they are. So let me run you through. Per, I think is my highest. This is the first airdrop I got from
I missed
hyperliquid.
I missed the
You
airdrop. I
missed
didn't
it.
click on the thing for it, motherfucker.
Yeah, so this one was a while back, and I think that's why I also got some more airdrops, because I was holding, and I don't know a while back if you guys were, yeah, I don't know how long you guys have been with us. I say that was going to be a really good buy. So all the sort of, this is like a meme coin. This is the first meme coin, and they did it as a test on the hyperliquid ecosystem. So I think this one could actually, these three, I think those are my favorite. And if you go to the hyperliquid, and if you got a spot, essentially, all these spot stuff are coins launched on the exchange, right? So hyperliquid does have the spot, which is their own chain, their own blockchain, and it has the perps, which you can actually trade whatever they have in there, right? So with perps, it's pretty much everything, mostly everything that we trade. They keep adding more liquidity, but now they have a huge list of tokens that we can actually trade as perps, not as but they sort of continue developing the spot ecosystem. And I think this could be the opportunity. This could be the opportunity. So for instance, let's have a look at Per. So Per, let's go into 1 day here. And all right, this thing was listed here. I got that airdrop around here. So
Well, you're making me cry, bro.
I think this one is 322%. I haven't sold any yet. I think I'm gonna sell a little bit of this one, but the other ones now I'm start seeing that they do have a little bit of traction. So where are you?
So what do you like? What do you like, and what do they have going for them? And like, is there any fundamentals to them, or are they just stupid bullshit?
There's
Or like, what's
essentially the only narrative around Per is the first airdrop that Hyperliquid got. And then this is the first token that it was released on their real L1 exchange blockchain. So there is that sort of narrative going on. No one is selling this thing because obviously the more you hold it, essentially you could qualify for more airdrops in the future. That's how they measure a little bit of this one. The other ones are actually pretty speculative, I guess. So the Jeff went nuts, man. Look at this thing in the last 3 days. Obviously, this one.
I should have known that one.
This one is ridiculous, man. So I think I got a little bit of this one as well as an airdrop. But this one could, I don't know. This is like, I'm still analyzing this morning because treat this as a meme coin. This is a meme coin on hyperliquid.
Has hyperliquid listed hype on perps yet? Because to me, if you're looking for beta, you could do a bit of light leverage on it.
Not yet.
Okay, so this is another very, very smart thing. So in the chat, can anyone figure out what the implication of hyperliquid, which lists every fucking perp, not listing their own coin as a perp? In the chat, can anyone figure out how that's so brilliant and so clever? And this is okay. So if you want to get out of a coin, you don't have to go into the market. If you wanted to dump, if I wanted to dump $5 million worth of the coin in a day, I would do a little bit in spot, but I would do most of it in perps because the perp markets get bigger real quick because they've got leverage. And what you would find is that people would leverage their hype because I don't know. Todd Main looked yesterday. I looked yesterday too, because I'm like, well, fuck, this is a great coin. How about I take the 300 grand that you just gave me and I fucking lever it up and just buy $1 million worth of this shit? Like, that seems like pretty smart. That's exactly what I would have done. If that happened, it would have caused a pump and then a dump. Jeff is setting this thing up beautifully so that there's no reason for people to start selling. Like if hype 10x tomorrow, I would have to sell because it would be like, well, that's my retirement number and I have to sell. But and by the way, when you hit your retirement number, you do have to sell, guys. Like you actually do. like it's a completely different fucking game. Doesn't matter how much higher it's going. If it's hit your number, you just fucking drop the mic and walk away a champion. Retire undefeated on the greatest. You know, that's what you have to do. So he's stopping that. He's causing a slow, steady, slow boil. If you look at the 1 hour chart of hype, it's just a frog boiling in water. There's no pumps. It's just like look at the 1 hour chart. It's just there's no opportunity. There's no pumps and then dumps to get in on. There's no flash crashes. It's just like, this is clever, guys.
Very clever, man. Like, oh my goodness, man.
It's not accidental. It's the perfect timing. He's done things right the whole way. Community first. The product. How much easier is it to use than Binance? Like, I want to log into Binance. I've got to check the email code, and you've got 60 seconds to get the email code and the authenticator code, and like this, I click, bam, boom, ding, ding, we're in. Let's go. Fucking go. Marlon, the candles are very small. So what does that tell us? You know, it tells us that even though it's going up a lot, it's behaving like a low volatility coin.
Yep.
And the truth is, Americans can use this to trade perps. They can't say that. But I know we got a lot of Americans on the call, and the number one fucking problem that every American person on this call has had is, where can I fucking buy this coin? Where can I trade this perp? Where can I go short? How do I get leverage? It's being bought on every little dip, guys. This is looking like the at early days, 3 days in, it's looking like the Solana of this cycle. And I'm calling it now. This looks like the breakout smash hit.
Yep.
This is the one, guys. This is the one.
Which is that's why I want to focus. I'm gonna be doing a little bit more research on the.
You should be a hyperliquid fucking nerd. You should know every single thing inside and out, back to front.
And definitely, I think the ecosystem here on these ones, and you will see a lot of this stuff now launching. Definitely, it's going to be a bunch of things that are going to be launching. So on that note, there could be opportunities right there to capitalize on. So I'll be paying close attention to this one now. Yeah, man, you know what I mean? Like, it's nothing else that you can say about this. You know, very strong price action. One of the greatest friggin' airdrops in history of crypto, I will say. And there's one guy here in hyperliquid has the largest crypto airdrop of all time. This is kind of the first 5 airdrops that has been in crypto, the biggest one. And
made, promises kept, and they only gave it to people who use their shit and are passionate about. I'm passionate about this exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've used it, I've recommended it right from the start. I've run our trading systems on it. The thing that makes me cry is that we were deciding, should we use DYDX or hyperliquid? And
yeah, I know. I remember that time.
And we had the discussion. It was like, oh, I like hyperliquid. I'm in touch with the CEO. I know Jeff Person, and they just didn't have the liquidity back then.
Exactly. And I'm gonna post this here as well, because I found this dashboard, and you can actually just track all the allocation, who's selling, who's not. So that's quite handy in order to either figure out you want to enter on this one.
Can you send that to me in Slack too, please, bro?
Sure.
That looks really super useful. So I think this whole ecosystem, we should be alive for more coins being launched on it.
I agree. So that's what I'm sort of tracking this to make sure that I think hype is going to be consistent. And if that does, then it's going to attract developers. It's going to attract a lot of people. This is going to be the new girl on the block, because
I think you have to immediately consider it to be the equivalent of at least SUI.
Yes, I agree. And then the fact is not confirmed, but they holding a bunch of liquidity as well for future airdrops. Yeah. So they could be opportunities. They could be. I don't know if
there'll never be one like that.
No, I don't think so. But it could be that either you trade more on the spot, or you actually do more on the spot and you hold memes or whatever. That could be an option. You know what I mean? Like, that could be that in a year's time, and you might get a little bit of some, right? And then you might get the same sort of token distribution, but then that token distribution is going to be a higher price, maybe at $50, who knows, or $100, who knows to where this token could go. So I'm excited. Like, it's a bunch of little projects like this that I'm following. So I'm just going through a bunch of different ones. A lot of things going on, man. It was a really good weekend. Unfortunately, I wasn't available over the weekend, but it was a lot of good pumps over the weekend in terms of alts. So yeah. So yeah, I'll leave this one with you guys. I'll be doing more research on that. So should we go a little bit of a overall thing about Bitcoin and the alts and stuff like that, Scott?
Yeah, please do that.
Well, here's where I'm at. Let's have a look at this. Is total 3. Let's have a look. All right. So first of all, Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin is not doing much, but it's holding pretty well. And like I'm saying, it's sort of, we hold, as long as we hold this range, and then alts seems to be performing right, that could be the trigger. You know what I mean? Like, I was looking for a trigger. What is the bull run coming up? What is that trigger? And I was talking about like Solana, Bitcoin, but I don't think that trigger is not that effective any longer. You know what I mean? Like, now Solana is is a little bit sort of not giving us much, right? But that was the strongest thing right now, before. So I'm just sort of analyzing that, changing that narrative in a little bit, like to see, because now the hyperliquid thing changes things. And that's what crypto is all about. Anything new that happens, Chinese stuff like that comes in, now people shift focus, and then it could be the newest narrative. So that could have been, I think that could be an actual bull trigger for alts, the hyperliquid airdrop. It's just massive. I know people that have received like 7 figures, 8 figures. You've been trading hyperliquid for ages, man, and they well, so they wells, and it is. And now there's liquidity, now there's capital, so that could be, you know what I mean. Now we could actually enter on the full bull run mode. What are your thoughts, Scott?
Excited. I probably can't trust my own thinking, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. Because it's one of those things. So obviously, yeah, if we think about it from the majors, nothing has changed dramatically on the weekend, right? But if we look at total three keeps pumping crazy. What's actually the biggest gainers on what is the biggest gainers on this? Essentially, give me 1 second. See if I go to Veldata, I had it here. All right, so if we go to Veladata, right, the biggest gainers actually are, like, all L2s, of course, are Arbitrum, definitely, and the fact of hyperliquid. We are doing really well on our spot stuff. So let's go through our spot, and I do believe that we have really good opportunities on our spot trading. All right, so with the spot, I was looking at what is it, checks. So all that RWS is actually working really well. I think this one is going to continue to go up. CPOol definitely is doing well. I think this is going to break. Really well, man. Like, I don't in this one, all our trades are actually working really well. Ondo is actually really well. It's
Jesus.
yeah, so it's nearly like all these RWAs, these ones are actually outperforming Ondo in a way. But
So,
now,
so on Ondo,
mhm.
I mean, I don't own either of these. What else should I be owning?
So checks, I think checks could be, we own checks from here on 32 cents. So 32 cents. And now we are in price discovery. This can wiggle around, but I think checks could be a really good opportunity on the RWS space. So checks, I think is a little bit now really high. We enter here, and now, yeah, yeah, I think checks could be the opportunity, and CPOol. I think these two could be, the ones that had potential, a lot of potential, because could actually just stay around here. Who knows? I'm not sure. Like, I
Okay,
have to, yeah.
so after a giant big boner candle like that,
Mm,
that's a lot of people who are planning on buying who got faked out. That's
hmm
usually a good sign to step away from it for a couple of months, throw it on the watch list, bank some
hmm
profits. I would.
hmm
Are you in that?
Yeah, we are still in it. We took some profits around somewhere around here. I think it's
You
not
got
a
to
bad
take
idea.
you got
Yeah.
to take profits anytime you see the close of a boner candle like that. So I would suggest you take at least half profits right now. Would be a smart thing, especially
Cool.
while other things are popping off. That would be a nice.
Yeah, and I think that all the, like, we have also WMTX, which is doing fantastically well. This one I'm not taking any profits yet. I think it's a good one run. I don't know if, yeah, we had a lot of people. We have a lot of people that went into the WMTX prior the migration, went a little bit down, but now finally is where it's supposed to be. So really like that one. INA finally climbing back up. These are 3 entries. So now we are a little bit on profit on an average price. So I think INA is gonna hit all-time highs, man, definitely, especially on this environment. And then from then on, so if you're not in INA, I think this is not a bad idea to start gathering INA. You know what I mean? We bought here, we bought here, we bought here, and now we are finally reaping on this one. Straw is doing fantastically well as well. So now finally going all-time high. So yeah, this weekend was pretty positive, man, for our portfolio. Something that I was going to suggest, here's our leverage trades. So that was our spot, like the biggest ones to recognize. I'm going to start taking some profits on Mantle. So this is our trade on Mantle. So yeah, what can I say? This trade is great. This is all the leverage stuff, right? Say, man, still on say, still performer, still
Jesus.
pretty good. Look at this trade, man. Like, yeah, this is all the trades that we took on the leverage trade. Popcat is still there. You know, we have
I mean, I like it as a meme, but the whole meme sector, all the ones I'm holding anyway, like the Retardios, the lock-ins, the Sigmas, they're all like, they still look okay, but they're in a pretty significant pullback.
yeah, correct.
Like Retardio's 11 cents down from 24.
Mhm.
So that like that's a big pullback.
Yeah. And I think what is catching attention at the moment, and unfortunately I missed the spec trade. So all the agent AI stuff, guys, that I've been talking about for the whole last week, agent over the weekend, especially
I
yesterday,
hate that
went nuts.
narrative, for God's sake.
I know, man, but it's like, I think that's the new memes. Here's why. All right. So that is different stuff that happening on the agent AI ecosystem. So you have platforms like Virtuals. Let's go through them that I missed a couple of them, but I think there is an opportunity still in, what is it? Okay. So, oh yeah, AI. So much stuff, man, to keep track. That's you know what I mean? Like, that's one of the things that I'm struggling with all right. We have, okay, so Guru ecosystem for AI tokens went nuts, right? Agent AI ecosystem for agent tokens went nuts. AMP, same thing, went nuts, right? And virtuals. So what this is telling me right now is these ones are pretty sort of strong narrative. Now, within each one of these sort of platforms, you can actually buy individual agent AIs, like meme coins, talking like that, right? That have distribution revenue and stuff like that. It's a brand new ecosystem that I'm sort of researching about. So you could, like Virtual, for instance, Virtual is the ecosystem in itself. Within Virtuals, you can actually buy internal agents that are actually doing that well. So
look at fucking trades, man.
so I think
you must have been making so much fucking money trading these little shit coins.
I know, man.
You've had a great year. You've had a life-changing year. It must be.
So far, yeah, obviously I haven't gone into virtual, but now I'm going to start looking into the virtual ecosystem in itself. I'm not the virtual token in itself. Now you can actually see this one is the most sort of the one that is actually gaining more of the attention. And within this ecosystem, you'll find little freaking ecosystem, little freaking like agents that are actually doing massively. They're doing 2x, 3x in 24 hours. So with that being said, this week I'm going to be busy researching all the little ins and outs of these ecosystems, and I'm still think that virtual could do really well if those AIs keep pumping. And so narratives are changing, and that's kind of been the struggle of the cycle. Is like, you know, how often, you know, they're changing quite quickly. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where I'm at in terms of.
To me,
but it's a lot of opportunities.
To me, when narratives start changing very, very quickly and money becomes very, very easy to make, we're due a short, violent fuck you. And
Yeah.
this is the conundrum right now, because
Yeah.
if we're talking about big picture, like seeing through the matrix, this is exactly the time when altcoins could across the board 10 to 100x. It's also exactly the time that major alts could 20% single day down candle, and shitcoins could 50, 60% down candle, and every single person using leverage could get wiped out in one go. Those things are both extremely likely.
I agree. That's where that's where I was last week. Why?
Okay, so here's how I want you to view that.
Yeah.
The trades that pucker your ass a little bit, that you take despite knowing that, oh, fuck, this is a dangerous trade. Fuck me. I'm not sure about this. Those tend to be the ones that work.
Yeah.
The ones that are like, whoa, wag me, fuck yeah, doing the Trump, jerking off two guys. Those trades, jerking off two guys. Those are the ones that fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought beachfront real estate in 2007 in Australia, and I felt so fucking smart doing it. It was like I already owned a heap of beachfront real estate in Australia, and I bought more because, like, fuck, I felt like I was jerking off two guys, like, just they're so clever. And that was like one of the worst trades of my life. Like, got out of an enormous loss, life-changing loss. Yeah. So, and the best real estate trade I've ever made in my life, I put a deposit on a block of land in Bali on the beach, and I went over to pay the rest of the money, and I was like a kilometer from when the first Bali bomb went off, and I went to the hospital, and there was like rivers of blood soaking up above my shoe. The soles of my shoes had to be thrown away because they were soaked in blood when I walked out of the hospital, and I had to pay, and I had to make the decision: do I walk away from the deposit, which was 50 grand, or do I pay the 300 grand for this block of land? And I asked for a discount, and they gave me a discount. I bought the block of land for 280, and then put a house on it for 300, and sold it like 5 years later for 3.2. And it was the best real estate profit I've ever made in my life. Resold again a couple of years later for 9, a couple of years later for 15, and it's worth probably 25 now. So let's not talk about that. But still, the lesson to learn is that is two things. One, don't sell too early, like I've always done, and two, don't bet on things that feel like a sure thing. Bet when it feels like, the best times to bet in crypto are always when it feels a bit fuckery. And when you see people bitching about FINRA, that's my favorite.
Oh, FINRA is doing great. Do you want to show? Do you want to show FINRA or?
Yeah, sure. You finish your thing. I'll
all right, fair enough. So essentially, yeah, that's what my guys.
So what's the CVD looking like? Don't look at the top gainers. Look at the large caps, bro. That's what's driving it here.
So
take top gainers off, just because they're always.
Yeah.
Okay, so and that's a week.
That's the weekly. Yep.
We look at the last couple of days. Just zoom in a bit. Oh, we can't zoom.
Go daily. There you go.
What are the things going up?
XRP went nuts. Yeah, XRP went nuts.
It's still late for XRP. You can't buy that.
No. Yeah, I think it went nuts because of the new, apparently is going to have a new stable, the RL USD stable hasn't approved. It hasn't been approved yet, but yeah, a bunch of stuff that were sleeping were starting to wake up.
Okay, so that's interesting. So that's obviously a bullshit announcement, right? Like, XRP is a company that's notorious for saying bullshit things. When markets start going up on bullshit announcements about the announcement, we've got this great idea. It's a thought bubble. We're going to do this thing. We're going to build a whatever the fuck. And the market on that news, just on the basis that we spouted some bullshit that someone came up with while he was taking a turd this morning. And that's evidence for alt season. Is my point.
Perfect. All right. Interesting. It's an interesting take. Yeah, I'm
So
in between.
I mean,
I'm in between two things.
I can't
Yeah.
say across the board that looks like alt season. That looks
Hmm. It looks it's mixed, isn't it? It doesn't. You know what I mean? Like that's
very,
what
very.
it's
It's
mixed, man.
not. Yeah, it's not equivocal. It's not like.
Hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a sure thing. Like
Yeah, I know. I know. That's where I'm at. You know what I mean? And obviously, because now is that want to deploy a little bit more capital and things like that. What I'm seeing is the funding rate is actually very, very, and obviously on all the stuff that actually went nuts, it's kind of getting heated. CRO is just really up there, 140%. And this is what I was on Friday. So this is the total open interest in all coin
this is the interesting one.
yeah,
This is the one.
and it's still going up, man. Like it hasn't
Jason says, I
dropped.
think you either love or hate XRP. I'd go further and say either you're a completely gaslit boomer that has no idea, and or you've got a functioning brain cell. Like the XRP holders are the dumbest people in crypto, and it's not even close. By far, the dumbest people. ADA NFT holders are smarter than XRP holders. Like, like as a group, they just love that fucking coin. They're like,
Mm,
I've been on Zoom calls with clients who've got 100% of their self-managed super in XRP. It's like incredible
yeah,
brain, incredible brain rot.
really well marketed. So, but
Greg Johnson says, I'm an XRP holder. Bro, you don't say that kind of thing. It's like when dudes it's like when dudes come visit me in Thailand and then they talk about the lady boys. It's like, dude, you're not supposed to talk about that out loud. Like it should be a deeply, deeply embarrassing admission to be an XRP holder.
I don't
Sorry,
like.
sorry, man. I know. I'm very
uh,
happy for you. You probably made like $1 million in the last week. Oh, congratulations to you. Like wonderful trade. XRP has gone to the moon. It is the strongest coin right now. By far,
it
it's not
is.
close. I'm happy for you.
It actually broke all-time highs and stuff.
Broke all
So
time highs. Of course it did.
this is where I'm at, and obviously I was like that on Friday and over the weekend is one of those things. But we are at the highest thing that we have ever been on open interest, right? So it is a funny one. I feel mixed. You know what I mean? I don't feel that, especially
Okay,
that
yeah,
everything.
yeah. Okay,
You know?
so for those who don't know, a high open interest means lots of leverage. Lots of
Mm-hmm.
leverage means a couple of things. Demand for leverage is high, so it becomes profitable to short. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, you can get fucking 40% for shorting.
Well, according to this, if you short CRO, I don't know in which it's changed. It's about 140%. Yeah.
But what about for
Okay.
major coin like a Solana? What do you get for shorting Solana?
54.
54%? That's
Mm.
very attractive.
Yep.
Very attractive. At some
I think,
at
yeah.
some point, people go, okay, so I bought Solana at $16. It's at 250. How about I hedge out my position and earn 45% on that for a little while, for a few months? That becomes attractive.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. 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 Yeah. So that's essentially that's where I'm at in terms of, you know, starting new positions on leverage and things like that. I'm still a little bit iffy around it, but that doesn't mean that this is gonna crash. This could continue to go up. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things in terms of
Where
possibilities.
is it? Is the explosion is coming in Binance? Is that the dark blue?
Yes, Binance. That's the
Oh.
biggest one right now. Like Binance, you can now see Bybit not that big. You see OKX, not that big. Derivative, yeah, this is too small to have a look. Let's have a look at hyperliquid. Let's just, so obviously hyperliquid could go nuts, but not, yeah. So between Binance and hyperliquid,
Hyperliquid's just the type of thing that once you
yeah.
use it once, you know that it's a good thing to use.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I have a choice between taking a perp trade on Bybit or on Hyperliquid, I choose Hyperliquid first. I first check, is it around?
Yeah. So with that being said, obviously I'll do some more work around it, but I think it's still, all the
Guys, I got
virtuals.
another.
Yeah.
I got another call. I got to jump off. But congratulations to everyone. Congratulations, Maurizio. I'll let Maurizio keep going, but congratulations to everyone who participated. And I think my honest advice is, if you missed the hyperliquid airdrop, try and buy below 1 hour VWAP. Get something on.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be the guy that misses out, because this feels like 100x.
Mm-hmm.
It feels
Definitely.
this feels like one of those life changes, guys.
Yeah.
Solana went from $1 to $254. Like, it feels like one of them ones.
Yep. I agree. I agree. So that could be a really good one to hold, or even to start buying if you haven't done so. So yeah.
And if you've got a very small account, start very much investigating these little shit coins on Hyperliquid that Maurizio's doing the research on.
Yeah. I'll do more stuff tomorrow, guys. So stay tuned and then
um,
we'll take it from there. All right. Okay, guys. So have a good day, and we'll see you around. Oh, he's still here. Okay, I thought I was going to be cut off, but then, yeah. All right, so not much to add, guys. So obviously, yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of research within the inner aspects of virtual. So all those AI agents are going nuts, and yeah, a lot of risk on assets at the moment. So yeah, we're still doing good in terms of the lever trade. The only one that I wanna share now before I go, and I did talk about it. Let's have a look at our leverage trades. So if you guys still are in order, finally went our way up. I'm gonna take some profits here, take 50%, move the stop loss. But yeah, if you're still in order, go ahead. Algo, let's have a look at Algo. I'm not in Algo, but I was tracking it. Let's have a look how it went. I think it's, ooh, yeah, yeah, everything's going out, man. Buying here, I don't like buying here, to be honest. Can this continue to go? Definitely, but at some point we're gonna have a cooldown. At some point we're gonna have a flush, and at some point we're going to have a little bit of an opportunity to rebuy thing again. So I think it's let's have a look at the last one, and I do have to go as well. So the Ondo, where we at on Ondo? So Ondo, the only thing about Ondo, it's not a bad idea. I'm still want to take some profits on Ondo, due to the fact that we have some unlocks coming up. This position is actually doing really well. In our spot, where are you? Ondo. Yeah, in our spot tokens, we are holding pretty well right here. So we had two entries. So we are making like probably 300% on this trade. I'll see if I can take some of the tables so we can actually recycle some stables and stuff. Okay, Jason, buy USDC, send it to wallet and Arbitrum, connect to wallet, hyperliquid deposit. All right, yeah, definitely HBAR. And last one, HBAR. Let's have a look. HBAR, I'm not an HBAR. I was tracking it, but we are not in it. Holy shit, look at this thing, man. Yeah, everything is going nuts, man. Everything is going freaking nuts. Let's have a look at this from the weekly perspective. So this is on Bybit. Let's have a look at HBAR on Binance. I just want to see. All right. Yeah. Look iffy, look iffy, look iffy. Looks interesting, right? So obviously, this is the weekly stuff. So we approach into this liquidity aspect. Either it breaks and goes all-time highs, but then, yeah, and mixed in terms of the open interest being too high. Would I start buying now? No. If this thing goes without me, that's fine, man. You know what I mean? Like that's something that you guys in terms of trading, you need to take an opportunity to think about. If you wanna ape into it, don't do it unless you have a plan entry or something like that. Why? Because you could get really, you know, screwed. Like you enter here and this could continue to go up. Jeff says something like, yeah, wait for a pullback. Generally, I do that, but then obviously at some point, some of these ones, you're gonna have enough of pullback sometimes. So it's one of those things to balance it right. But then look at this. So the H bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. Is that going to break? Is that gonna run out of steam at the moment? So that's where I'm thinking probably, but a good opportunity to buy could be around here. If you still wanna hold H bar. So that could be one. And if we do have a flush, be ready when we do have a flush. We will have a flush, right? We will. I'm pretty sure when. Could be tomorrow, could be in a month, could be in 2 months, could be in 3 months. So obviously patience is also something on trading. So all right, too much stuff to do, man. But before I go, for today, I'm actually keeping a track of these 3 ones. I did talk it on Monday. So I think this one could be my options, either super, beam, or mode. So beam, this is our gaming stuff. Gaming start picking up. The narrative hasn't gone ballistic yet, and we still have opportunity to this one to all-time high. So this one could be infrastructure plays for gaming. And mode, I completely missed it here, but it looks pretty solid now. The mod looks like it's recovering quite a bit, so I might start doing spot position these three. So yeah, those are my favorites for the time being, guys. So all right. So all right, guys. You have an awesome day. I'll see you tomorrow, and yeah, keep in touch. Bye bye. Have a good one.